A powerful moment has captured attention across Africa and beyond as Burkina Faso's leader, Captain Ibrahimtraore, inaugurated a major new public hospital, an event many are calling a symbol of long-delayed dignity for the African people. The ceremony was more than the opening of a medical facility. It became a strong political and emotional statement about leadership, independence, and Africa's ability to build for itself after decades of struggle and neglect. The hospital, built to serve thousands of citizens who previously lacked access to modern health care, stands as one of the most ambitious public health projects Burkina Faso has seen in years. For ordinary people, it represents hope. For the government, it is proof of commitment to social development at a time when the country continues to face serious security and economic challenges. Across social media and African news outlets, images of the hospital spread quickly, with many praising the moment as a sign that Africa can finally invest in its own people. Captain Ibrahimtraore, who came to power during a period of deep national crisis, used the inauguration to send a clear message. He spoke about self-reliance, national pride, and the need for African leaders to focus on real services instead of empty promises. His words resonated strongly with young Africans, many of whom feel their countries have long been denied fair treatment, both at home and internationally. Burkina Faso, like many African nations, has suffered from weak healthcare systems for decades. Poor infrastructure, limited funding, and dependence on foreign aid left millions without proper medical care. The new hospital challenges that history. It shows what is possible when leadership prioritizes public welfare, even in difficult times. Health experts say improved access to care could reduce preventable deaths and strengthen trust between citizens and the state. This moment matters not just for Burkina Faso, but for Africa as a whole. For years, the continent has often been portrayed only through stories of conflict and poverty. The hospital inauguration offers a different image, one of construction instead of collapse, and ambition instead of despair. It raises important questions about what African leadership can achieve when focused on long-term development rather than short-term political survival. As reactions continue to spread across the continent, this event has become a symbol of something larger. It is about respect, dignity, and the belief that Africa deserves strong institutions built for its people. Part 1 of this story sets the stage for a deeper look at how this project came to life, why it matters now, and what it could mean for Africa's future in a changing world.
The story behind the hospital's construction is one of determination under pressure. Burkina Faso did not build this facility during a time of peace or economic comfort. Instead, the project moved forward while the country faced ongoing security threats, limited resources, and international uncertainty. Many observers believed such an ambitious health project would be delayed or abandoned. Its completion has therefore surprised many across Africa. Government officials say the project was driven by a clear political decision to shift focus from dependency to action. For years, Burkina Faso relied heavily on external aid for health services, which often came with delays and conditions. Under Captain Ibrahimtraore's leadership, authorities pushed for a new approach that emphasized national effort, local expertise, and strategic partnerships rather than total dependence on foreign donors. Local engineers, medical planners, and construction workers played a major role in the project. Their involvement has been widely praised because it kept jobs inside the country and built local skills. Health officials say this approach is just as important as the building itself because it strengthens long-term capacity rather than short-term solutions. Many young professionals now see the hospital as proof that their skills can be used at home instead of being forced to leave the country for opportunities abroad. Financing the hospital was not easy. With security spending rising and the economy under strain, critics questioned whether such a project was realistic. Supporters responded that healthcare is not a luxury, but a foundation for national strength. A country fighting violence, they argued, cannot win if its people are sick, weak, or abandoned by the system. As construction progressed, the hospital became a symbol of persistence. Delays, supply shortages, and security concerns threatened the timeline, but the project continued. When the doors finally opened, the moment felt larger than a single building. It represented a rare example of a major public project completed despite heavy national pressure. The hospital is designed to provide advanced medical services that were previously unavailable to many citizens. Doctors say it will reduce the need for patients to travel abroad for treatment, saving families money and the country valuable resources. It also improves emergency response capacity, a critical need in a country affected by violence and displacement. This background explains why the inauguration caused such strong reactions. It was not just about healthcare, but about resilience. The hospital tells a story of a nation choosing to build while under attack. In the next part, attention will turn to how Africans across the continent are responding emotionally and politically to this moment, and why it has struck such a deep chord beyond Burkina Faso's borders. The inauguration of the hospital did not remain a local event for long. Across Africa, reactions poured in from citizens, activists, professionals, and political observers who saw the moment as something deeply symbolic. For many Africans, the image of a modern hospital opened by an African leader, built during a time of crisis, touched emotions that go far beyond healthcare. On social media, young Africans describe the hospital as a sign of respect for ordinary people. Many said it reflected the kind of leadership they have long demanded, leadership that focuses on hospitals, schools, and infrastructure instead of luxury and political speeches. In countries facing similar struggles, people saw themselves in Burkina Faso's story and felt a shared sense of pride. Political commentators across the continent pointed out that healthcare has often been one of Africa's most neglected sectors. While natural resources are exported and foreign aid flows in and out, basic medical services have remained weak in many states. The hospital inauguration challenged the idea that Africa must always wait for outside help before acting. It suggested that political will can still make a difference, even under pressure. The moment also reignited debate about leadership styles in Africa. Supporters of Captaintraore argue that firm leadership combined with social investment can restore public confidence. They say the hospital shows that strong governance does not have to ignore human needs. Critics, however, caution that development projects must go hand in hand with transparency and long-term planning to truly succeed. For African health professionals, the event carried special meaning. Doctors and nurses across the continent know the pain of working in under-equipped facilities. Many said the hospital represents hope that governments can finally prioritize health workers and patients. Some medical associations described it as a reminder that African solutions are possible when leaders listen to experts and invest wisely. Beyond emotion, the inauguration has begun to influence conversations at policy level. Regional health planners and development experts are discussing how similar projects could be replicated in other countries. While not every nation has the same conditions, the example has opened a serious discussion about local capacity and political courage. This widespread reaction explains why the hospital became more than a national achievement. It turned into a continental moment of reflection. Africans are asking whether this is the beginning of a new mindset where dignity and development take center stage. In the next part, the focus will shift to the international response and how the world is interpreting this powerful African statement. The inauguration of the hospital in Burkina Faso has also drawn attention far beyond Africa. International media, development experts, and foreign governments are closely watching the message behind the project.
For many outside the continent, the event challenges long-held views about Africa as a place that only receives help, rather than one that builds and leads for itself. Global health observers have noted that constructing a major hospital during a period of insecurity sends a strong signal. It shows that even countries under pressure can invest in long-term public services if priorities are clear. Some international analysts describe the project as a sign that African governments are beginning to redefine development on their own terms, focusing on practical impact instead of donor-driven plans. At the same time, the world's response has been cautious. Western governments and institutions have acknowledged the importance of strengthening healthcare, but continue to stress the need for stability, transparency, and sustainable funding. They point out that hospitals require trained staff, steady supplies, and strong management to succeed over time. For them, the real test will be whether the facility continues to serve people effectively in the years ahead. Non-governmental organizations working in health and humanitarian fields have also reacted with interest. Many see the hospital as a potential partner in improving care for displaced people and conflict-affected communities. If managed well, it could reduce pressure on international aid systems by providing strong local capacity. Politically, the event has added to a growing global discussion about Africa's independence in decision-making. As some African countries distance themselves from traditional allies, projects like this hospital are viewed as part of a wider shift. They suggest that new leadership styles are emerging, ones that place national pride and sovereignty at the center of development choices. For Burkina Faso, global attention brings both opportunity and responsibility. Praise from abroad can help attract technical support and investment, but it also increases scrutiny. International partners will be watching closely to see whether this moment leads to deeper reforms or remains a powerful symbol without lasting change. The world's reaction shows why this event matters beyond one country. It is influencing how Africa is discussed in global forums, not only as a region in crisis, but as a place where serious efforts at transformation are taking place. In the next part, the focus will move to the challenges ahead and the difficult work of turning symbolism into long-term success for ordinary people.
Despite the excitement and pride surrounding the hospital inauguration, serious challenges still lie ahead. Building a modern medical facility is only the first step. The real test will be whether the hospital can continue to function effectively in a country facing security threats, limited resources, and ongoing political pressure. Many experts warn that without careful planning, even the most impressive projects can struggle to deliver long-term impact. One major challenge is staffing. A hospital needs skilled doctors, nurses, technicians, and support workers to operate at full capacity. Burkina Faso, like many African countries, has faced the loss of medical professionals to better-paying jobs abroad. Keeping trained staff motivated and protected in a difficult security environment will require sustained investment and strong leadership. Supplies and equipment also pose a challenge. Modern healthcare depends on reliable access to medicine, electricity, clean water, and functioning equipment. Any disruption caused by conflict or economic strain could affect patient care. Health officials say maintaining stable supply chains will be just as important as the building itself. Security remains another concern. Hospitals must be safe spaces for patients and workers. In areas affected by violence, ensuring protection without turning medical centers into military zones is a delicate balance. Failure to manage this could discourage people from seeking care, undermining the hospital's purpose. There are also concerns about equality and access. Citizens will be watching closely to see whether the hospital serves all people fairly, including the poor, displaced families, and rural communities. If access becomes limited to a small group, public trust could quickly fade. Transparency and fairness will be critical in maintaining confidence. Financial sustainability is another key issue.
Hospitals are expensive to run, and long-term success depends on consistent funding. While the inauguration has created momentum, the government must ensure that health spending remains a priority, even when budgets are under strain. These challenges do not reduce the importance of what has been achieved, but they remind us that development is a process, not a moment. The hospital has opened a door of possibility, but walking through it will require discipline, honesty, and continued commitment. In the final part, the focus will turn to the future, exploring what this moment could mean for Burkina Faso, for Africa's development path, and for a new vision of leadership on the continent.
The inauguration of the hospital in Burkina Faso may one day be remembered as more than a national achievement. It could mark a turning point in how African leadership, development, and self-belief are understood both on the continent and around the world. For many Africans, the moment represents a quiet but powerful statement that dignity begins with serving people's basic needs. For Burkina Faso, the future now depends on consistency. If the hospital continues to operate well, expand services, and treat citizens fairly, it could rebuild trust between the state and the people. Success would show that even countries facing serious challenges can invest in long-term public goods. Failure, however, would reinforce skepticism and deepen disappointment. The stakes are therefore high. Across Africa, this moment is feeding a broader conversation about leadership priorities. Many citizens are asking why similar investments have not been made in their own countries. This pressure could encourage other governments to focus more on healthcare, education, and infrastructure instead of short-term political interests. In this way, one hospital could influence policy debates far beyond Burkina Faso. For the international community, the event offers a chance to rethink engagement with Africa. Instead of seeing the continent mainly as a recipient of aid, global partners may increasingly view African states as active builders of their own futures. This shift could lead to more equal partnerships based on respect and shared goals rather than dependency. Most importantly, the meaning of this moment lies with ordinary people. For a mother seeking safe childbirth, a child needing emergency care, or a worker hoping for treatment without traveling abroad, the hospital represents real change. These human stories are the true measure of progress. History often moves through small but powerful moments. The opening of a hospital may seem simple, yet it carries deep meaning in a region where basic services have long been denied. Whether this moment becomes a lasting symbol of Africa finally getting what it deserves will depend on what leaders choose to do next. What is clear is that a new expectation has been set, and Africa's people are watching closely.